A chronological Bible in 365 episodes. This is episode 165, continuing at 1 Kings 22, and also including 2 Chronicles and 2 Kings. Jehoshaphat, the son of Asa, had become king over Judah in the 4th year of Ahab, king of Israel.
Jehoshaphat was 35 years old when he became king, and he reigned 25 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Azubah, the daughter of Shilhi.
And he walked in all the ways of his father Asa. He did not turn aside from them, doing what was right in the eyes of the Lord. Nevertheless, the high places were not taken away, for the people offered sacrifices and burned incense on the high places.
Also, Jehoshaphat made peace with the king of Israel.
Now the rest of the acts of Jehoshaphat, the might that he showed, and how he made war, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah?
And the rest of the perverted persons who remained in the days of his father Asa, he banished from the land.
There was then no king in Edom, only a deputy of the king.
Jehoshaphat made merchant ships to go to Ophir for gold, but they never sailed, for the ships were wrecked at Ezion-Geber.
Then Ahaziah, the son of Ahab, said to Jehoshaphat, "Let my servants go with your servants in the ships." But Jehoshaphat would not.
And Jehoshaphat rested with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David, his father. Then Jehoram, his son, reigned in his place.
Moab rebelled against Israel after the death of Ahab.
Now Ahaziah fell through the lattice of his upper room in Samaria and was injured. So he sent messengers and said to them, "Go inquire of Baal-zebub, the god of Ekron, whether I shall recover from this injury."
But the angel of the Lord said to Elijah the Tishbite, "Arise, go up to meet the messengers of the king of Samaria, and say to them, Is it because there is no God in Israel that you are going to inquire of Baal-zebub, the god of Ekron?
Now therefore, thus says the Lord, you shall not come down from the bed to which you have gone up, but you shall surely die." So Elijah departed.
And when the messengers returned to him, he said to them, "Why have you come back?"
So they said to him, "A man came up to meet us, and he said to us, 'Go return to the king who sent you, and say to him, Thus says the Lord, is it because there is no God in Israel that you are sending to inquire of Baal-zebub, the god of Ekron? Therefore you shall not come down from the bed to which you have gone up, but you shall surely die.'"
Then he said to them, "What kind of man was it who came up to meet you and told you these words?"
So they answered him, "A hairy man wearing a leather belt around his waist." And he said, "It is Elijah the Tishbite."
Then the king sent to him a captain of 50 with his 50 men. So he went up to him, and there he was, sitting on the top of a hill. And he spoke to him, "Man of God, the king has said, come down."
So Elijah answered and said to the captain of 50, "If I am a man of God, then let fire come down from heaven and consume you and your 50 men. And fire came down from heaven and consumed him and his 50.
Then he sent to him another captain of 50 with his 50 men. And he answered and said to him, "Man of God, thus has the king said, come down quickly."
So Elijah answered and said, "If I am a man of God, let fire come down from the heaven and consume you and your 50 men. And the fire of God came down from heaven and consumed him and his 50.
Again he sent a third captain of 50 with his 50 men. And the third captain of 50 went up and came and fell on his knees before Elijah and pleaded with him and said to him, "Man of God, please let my life and the life of these 50 servants of yours be precious in your sight.
Look, fire has come down from heaven and burned up the first 2 captains of 50s and their 50s. But let my life now be precious in your sight."
And the angel of the Lord said to Elijah, "Go down with him. Do not be afraid of him." So he arose and went down with him to the king.
Then he said to him, "Thus says the Lord, because you have sent messengers to inquire of Baal-zebub, the god of Ekron, is it because there is no God in Israel to inquire of his word? Therefore you shall not come down from this bed to which you have gone up, but you shall surely die."
So Ahaziah died according to the word of the Lord which Elijah had spoken. Because he had no son, Jehoram became king in his place, in the 2nd year of Jehoram, the son of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah.
Now the rest of the acts of Ahaziah which he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel?
Now Jehoram, the son of Ahab, became king over Israel at Samaria in the 18th year of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, and reigned 12 years.
And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, but not like his father and mother, for he had put away the sacred pillar of Baal that his father had made.
Nevertheless, he persisted in the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who had made Israel sin. He did not depart from them.
Now Mesha, king of Moab, was a sheep breeder, and he regularly paid the king of Israel 100,000 lambs, and the wool of 100,000 rams.
But it happened, when Ahab died, that the king of Moab rebelled against the king of Israel.
So the king Jehoram went out of Samaria at the time and mustered all Israel.
Then he went and sent to Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, saying, The king of Moab has rebelled against me. Will you go with me to fight against Moab? And he said, I will go up. I am as you are, my people as your people, my horses as your horses.
Then he said, Which way shall we go up? And he answered, By the way of the wilderness of Edom.
So the king of Israel went with the king of Judah and the king of Edom, and they marched on that roundabout route 7 days. And there was no water for the army, nor for the animals that followed them.
And the king of Israel said, Alas, for the Lord has called these 3 kings together to deliver them into the hand of Moab.
But Jehoshaphat said, Is there no prophet of the Lord here, that we may inquire of the Lord by him? So one of the servants of the king of Israel answered and said, Elisha, the son of Shaphat, is here, who poured water on the hands of Elijah.
And Jehoshaphat said, The word of the Lord is with him. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat and the king of Edom went down to him.
Then Elisha said to the king of Israel, What have I to do with you? Go to the prophets of your father and the prophets of your mother. But the king of Israel said to him, No, for the Lord has called these 3 kings together to deliver them into the hand of Moab.
And Elisha said, As the Lord of hosts lives, before whom I stand, surely, were it not that I regard the presence of Jehoshaphat king of Judah, I would not look at you, nor see you.
But now bring me a musician. Then it happened, when the musician played, that the hand of the Lord came upon him.
And he said, Thus says the Lord, Make this valley full of ditches.
For thus says the Lord, You shall not see wind, nor shall you see rain, yet that valley shall be filled with water, so that you, your cattle, and your animals may drink.
And this is a simple matter in the sight of the Lord. He will also deliver the Moabites into your hand.
Also you shall attack every fortified city and every choice city, and shall cut down every good tree, and stop up every spring of water, and ruin every good piece of land with stones.
Now it happened in the morning, when the grain offering was offered, that suddenly water came by way of Eden, and the land was filled with water.
And when all the Moabites heard that the kings had come up to fight against them, all who were able to bear arms and older were gathered, and they stood at the border.
Then they rose up early in the morning, and the sun was shining on the water, and the Moabites saw that the water on the other side as red as blood.
And they said, This is blood. The kings have surely struck swords and have killed one another. Now therefore, Moab, to the spoil.
So when they came to the camp of Israel, Israel rose up and attacked the Moabites, so they had fled before them, and they entered their land, killing the Moabites.
Then they destroyed the cities, and each man threw a stone on every good piece of land and filled it. And they stopped up all the springs of water and cut down all the good trees. But they left the stones of Kir Hareseth intact. However, the slingers surrounded and attacked it.
And when the king of Moab saw that the battle was too fierce for him, he took with him 700 men who drew swords to break through the king of Edom, but they could not.
Then he took his eldest son, who would have reigned in his place, and offered him as a burnt offering upon the wall. and there was a great indignation against Israel. So they departed from him and returned to their own land.
So Jehoshaphat was king over Judah. He was 35 years old when he became king, and he reigned 25 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Azubah, and his daughter, the daughter of Shilhi.
And he walked in the way of his father Asa, and he did not turn aside from it, doing what was right in the sight of the Lord.
Nevertheless, the high places were not taken away, for as yet the people had not directed their hearts to the God of their fathers.
Now the rest of the acts of Jehoshaphat, first and last, indeed, they are written in the book of Jehu, the son of Hanani, which is mentioned in the book of the kings of Israel.
After this, Jehoshaphat king of Judah allied himself with Ahaziah king of Israel, who acted very wickedly.
And he allied himself with him to make ships to go to Tarshish, and they made the ships in Ezion-Geber.
But Eleazar, the son of Dodavah of Mareshah, prophesied against Jehoshaphat, saying, Because you have allied yourself with Ahaziah, the Lord has destroyed your works. Then the ships were wrecked, so that they were not able to go to Tarshish.
And Jehoshaphat rested with his fathers, and was buried with his fathers in the city of David. Then Jehoram his son reigned in his place.
He had brothers, the sons of Jehoshaphat, Azariah, Jehiel, Zechariah, Azariah, Michael, and Shephatiah. All these were the sons of Jehoshaphat king of Israel.
Their father gave them great gifts of silver and gold and precious things, with fortified cities in Judah. But he gave the kingdom to Jehoram, because he was the firstborn.
Now when Jehoram was established over the kingdom of his father, he strengthened himself and killed all his brothers with the sword, and also others of the princes of Israel.
Jehoram was 32 years old when he became king, and he reigned 8 years in Jerusalem.
And he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, just as the house of Ahab had done, for he had the daughter of Ahab as a wife, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord.
Yet the Lord would not destroy the house of David, because of the covenant that he had made with David, and since he had promised to give a lamp to him and to his sons forever.